In a landmark ruling on Thursday, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Main Circuit ruled that President Donald Trump should retain control of National Guard troops deployed to Los Angeles. The decision halted a lower court order that would have transferred command of the force to California Governor Gavin Newsom. It is the first time since 1965 that a U.S. president has deployed the National Guard to a state without the governor's consent, marking a major legal and political event that could shape how future administrations use emergency powers. While President Trump sent National Guard troops to Los Angeles to stop looting of businesses and violent riots, Democrats have strongly opposed it. They argued that President Trump's actions not only exceeded his authority but also escalated tensions, violated California's sovereignty, and wasted local resources. They argued that President Trump's actions violated federal law, which requires the president to notify the state governor before federalizing the National Guard. Mr. Sally Prayer, a federal judge in San Francisco, said that the protests in Los Angeles were peaceful, not serious enough to be considered an insurrection, so it was not a necessary condition for the president to be able to involve the National Guard under the law. However, in reality, the opposite was true. That is, these protests turned violent with protesters attacking federal employees, throwing objects such as bricks and bottles, and damaging government buildings, attacking a federal truck with broken windows. The appeals court ruled that President Trump did not have the authority for this action. However, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned the lower court's ruling, stating in its ruling that President Trump acted lawfully under Section 12406 of the United States Code, which allows the president to federalize the National Guard when regular federal forces are not capable of enforcing the law. The court emphasized that the president's powers in emergency situations must be respected and that the deployment of the National Guard was necessary to prevent violence and protect federal property. The court also rejected Gavin Newsom's argument. Gavin Newsom argued that the president's decision was completely beyond judicial review. The court also acknowledged that the Trump administration did not notify Gavin Newsom in advance as required by law, but Gavin Newsom did not have the right to veto the president's order. This was like a slap in the face to Gavin Newsom for deliberately supporting violent protests in the state of California.